Welcome along, ladies and gentlemen, for round 7 of the IRL F3 Championship. We're here in Monza for the Italian Grand Prix, and hopefully this is gonna be a good one. Italy usually provides very good racing in F1, and we hope that this one is gonna be no exception at all. We have quite a solid turn up, 40 drivers, and hopefully we're going to see the first cars out on track in a not too distant future as we wait for the first few guys to come out. As no one really wants to go out. Ah, there we go. First driver out. I think there was a Sauber. Yes, it is TJ out on track, and excuse me, but I don't have any sound right now. Yes, I'm very sorry that there is no sound, but there's not much I can do about it except from just restarting the game, and that's not what I'm gonna do. Just gonna wait here, then hopefully the sound will be back for quali. We can already see two guys are out on different tires already, and we have softs and mediums fitted out on track at the moment. We can see Tim Bruce Darlins. Oh, and I hear Luke Baker says in the chat that it could be a wet race. Callum Anderson says the same. So it's going to be very interesting for the race then. There's not much in terms of tyre strategies going on. Oh, and we already have the first retirement in Sector 1. See if we can get a view of this one. Looks like we can't. Don't know if that was a glitch or not, but I don't see anyone right now. But yeah, there we have it. We already have Matt Romano out of the session. There's his car in La Cova Grande, parked up on the right hand side of the road. Looks like he has crashed. Not sure about that though. But let's see. We're on board with TJ going down into turn 1. Shifts down to first. Usually we could hear the engine sound though. Oh, and we have another retirement, or now a disqualification. It's the second racing point, and that is Christos Kalamidas. And already both racing points are out, and that is the racing point of the disqualified car, and it's hindering TJ on his lap, and his lap is ruined. And we go on board with Haugerud, who's now coming down into turn 1. He stays in second gear in the first corner, doesn't really shift up, doesn't really short shift out of turn 2. Now goes through La Cova Grande onto turn 3, onto turn 4, sorry. Shifts down to second. Oh, and he clips the gravel. We could have heard that if we would have sound, but sadly, like I said, that is not the case. But we're going to stay on board with Haugerud, who is on the medium compound right now. Yellow flags in Sector 2. I don't know what's been going on there. Yellow flags in Sector 3 now as well. There's a car slowing down onto Ascari. And that is again the disqualified racing point from Calamidas, who's sitting in the way of the second Norwegian now. As he definitely did impede Haugerud there on his lap. Tim Bruce Dylans goes P1 at the moment with a 120.3, but what can Haugerud do? Definitely far away from that. He goes third fastest with a 122.4, but he's the slowest one of the guys who are actually out on track with an actual lap. TJ, like we saw, abandoned his lap. Now let's go on board with him then. As he goes on, as he is on his way onto Ascari, shits down to fourth. It's very difficult. If you clip that curb on the left-hand side there in the left-hander, it spins the car round immediately, and that is really tricky to nail in quali because you have to obviously take Try to take every bit of track with you to get the good momentum or the good run onto the back straight. And let's see what DJ can do. He goes P2 at the moment on the soft tire behind the Ferrari of Tim Bruce Dylans, who is on his way to the pits, I believe. And let's go on board with Luke Baker as he comes across the line with a 123.1. Oh, that was actually a proper lap. I can't imagine there was a mistake in that lap. Same goes for Jeremy Pope here in his Renault. A few drivers who haven't set a lap so far. Spice is one of them, and the Toro Rosso as a reserve driver. Let's see what he can do. Comes around turns 4 and 5. I don't know if he slightly clipped that gravel trap on the left hand side there. It's very easy to go in there, and it costs you so much time. We see a lot of drivers in real life do that as well. That's why it's such a tricky corner. Maybe could have used the width of the track there a little bit more even. Yeah, if there's not much action on track, Callum, I could leave the session and just rejoin it. But right now I'm just waiting for Spicer to finish his lap as Calamidas rejoins, but obviously his car has already been disqualified, so he has no chance of improving his time. After this lap I'm going to rejoin the lobby while Spicer goes P4. Let me quickly rejoin the lobby so we all have sound. I'm very sorry for the inconvenience, but there's not much I could have done about that. As I now try to rejoin the session as quickly as possible. Yeah, hello Lewis. Long time no seen. As we're waiting to join the session now. Not much should have been going on in the meantime, I believe. There we have the sound. That's beautiful. That's very, very good. Thanks Callum for the invitation, so I was able to rejoin as we are on board on an out lap, which we would not want to do. So we see Shane Calais in his Red Bull. I think he is on a flying lap. Yes, he is, but he doesn't have much ERS, only nearly 30%. And obviously that's not good, especially around here, around Italy, where you need the ERS. So that's not a good run through Lesmo 1. See how he takes Lesmo 2, but I don't think that is going to be a proper lap. Because as you can see on the bottom right, he only has around 10% of ERS left. And I think from under 15% or under 10% the ERS starts managing itself. It doesn't deliver full power from the ERS, so that's definitely not going to be the best time. That's not going to bring it far up, I believe. Sadly, we haven't seen why he has got such low ERS, but he still goes third fastest. That's impressive, but such a low amount of ERS. That is quite a good lap from him. 121.3, obviously on the soft tire, as we have many drivers out on mediums as well, but we heard that it's going to be raining for the race, so I don't know what kind of factor the strategy plays there. Tim Bruce Dylans anyway, the Toro Rosso gets in the way, is on another flying lap on the soft compound of tire, as it sounds like Sondre Sorhaug has joined us.
Rain for the race, you know, I like that. Well, hello and good day to you, Felix.
Hello,
I can
Sondre.
see that Tim is currently leading away.
Yes,
is he on the lap right now?
Yep, he is on the flying lap right now. Shane Calais has just set a time which brings him up to third, but he only had around 20% of ERS as he started his lap, and the ERS obviously manages itself him into the wall out of Fiscari. That's what I told you guys at the start of this session. He clipped the inside curb of the left-hander. We just have to, use all the track width. And he used too much there. He wanted too much, clipped the inside curb, and just the car would not try to save itself. He couldn't save the car anymore, and his qualifying is over, which is very, very bad for him, because he had very good chances for pole position, but obviously now the road is open for TJ as he loses it as well. Looks like the track is very, very, not very grippy, sorry.
And
again. I think, now he abandons his lap, goes down to non-ERS mode. Sondre, it would be nice if you could keep an eye on the comments.
Ooh, let's see what people are saying today.
So we are on
board
with Billy.
Anything interesting?
Awesome.
Alright, so definitely.
And Luke
Marshall
Baker has
Felix.
just come across the line. Yeah, I think Lewis just wanted to greet me because we haven't seen each other in a long time. Luke Baker, meanwhile, goes P4 with that one. And let's go on board TJ again. TJ should be quite far up in the championship. Yes, he is. P3.
In the meantime, I'm gonna stay with Billy Mossum.
Yeah, TJ gets a power slide out of turn 2, now goes through La Curva Grande. Now late braking into that left-right chicane, which is almost a test of bravery. How far can you go towards the outside? Slightly loses the back end, but does not quite touch the gravel trap on the left-hand side. That was a very good run through there. Now he has to extend the track as far as he can. Does not do so. You can actually go off track with 2 wheels because of the little runoff area you have there out of Lesmo 2. Goes into overtake ERS mode. Now shifts down into 4th gear through Ascari. Oh, he loses the back end and loses it again, and is only just able to save the car as he goes on with his lap with only 13% of ERS left. Oh, shifts down to 3rd. That was too much in my opinion. That lost him quite a lot of time. He abandons his lap and goes into the pits. That actually looked like a good lap until that point.
Ooh,
but then,
look at that by Billy Mossum.
Billy Mossum with a great lap.
Strong Ferrari performance
Takes
so
P1
far.
for the moment. But let's look what Sam Thompson can do. She's on his flying lap. Again, many people with quite low ERS left on their flying laps. Thompson also has problems with his fuel, and he short shifts. I think he abandoned his lap. Yes, he did. Callum Anderson, is he on a flying lap? Yes, it looks like he is.
Oh, Igor Mal is out.
Yes, he is indeed.
And high place grid penalty for Craig Woolley. So after collision with Igor Mal, so something has definitely happened there.
Yeah, let's stay with Callum Anderson. Does he finish his lap? No, he does not. Just going on board with the wrong people all the time.
Well, right now there isn't. Jeremy is not on the lap either,
he's not. He's preparing himself for a lap, I guess. Or he's just finished a lap.
He finished the lap not long.
Oh, whoops. That was not what I wanted to do. Accidentally clicked on a profile.
Oh, well. If you could refresh me, Felix, on what has happened with Crystals, as I can see that he was disqualified.
Yeah, he has been disqualified. I haven't quite seen what has been going on there. Also, Romano crashed quite early. I think it was into La Curva Grande. His car was set on the right-hand side of the road, and his tire was not applied to his car anymore. So he definitely crashed somehow. I didn't see how it happened, sadly. But I can tell you that the disqualified car from Christos actually ruined 2 laps of, I think it was TJ and Haugerud, who have been impeded by the disqualified racing point.
You know, something we didn't notice there, Felix, is that Sam Thompson actually snuck in ahead of TJ when he did his lap.
Oh, he actually did. Oh, look at the gap between P1 and P3. That's very close. That's within 1/10, and that's what we want to see. Sadly, Tim is not able to improve as he has crashed out of Ascari, which we saw on board. But yeah, it would have been great to see a 3-way fight for the podium. Maybe even TJ can do something in front there, because obviously we saw from his onboard how he made mistakes on his flying lap. But his lap in general looked quite solid. I think if he could keep it together, he could be up in the fight there. And look at Woolley, actually. He's on hard tires, which is surprising, because we obviously heard that it's going to be raining for the race.
As Sam Thompson is finished with his quali.
Yeah, I don't know where it was.
Billy and Halvor has probably been sitting in the pit too long, but nonetheless, though, Billy is starting his lap, so...
Yeah, let's go on board with him then. Down into turn 1. Oh, clips the grass. That's not what you want. Goes only down into second gear. You could take that second corner at least in first as he goes through La Curva Grande. Up towards turn 4, but I think he really wants to start in P11 to have a free tire choice. That's why he probably fitted the hard compound, so he just, you know, gets ready for the race.
Possibly.
But let's go on board with Spicer behind him.
It doesn't look like it's going too fast for him right now. Looks like it's going a little faster for his teammate behind him, though.
Yeah, let's hope his teammate is not...
get a good slipstream down
the
backstream.
No, that's a huge mistake. He goes way too deep into Scary. Yeah, maybe he gives him slipstream. It looks like he does.
Look at this, though.
But now he needs to get out the way to not hinder his teammate from a good lap. He doesn't do so. Don't know if that was planned or not.
I don't think it was planned. I think just that
both go over the line. Spicer goes P7 with that lap. Solid effort from him. That is
not too bad.
Callum Anderson comes across the line next. He runs out of ERS across the line, goes 4th fastest anyway. Puts himself ahead of TJ, who is still out on a flying lap as well. So is Hagerud. Oh, we have yellow flags in the first sector. That is Callum Anderson. He crossed the line before the session was
TJ? Can he keep his rear on this lap through the Lesmos? The first one looks alright. What about the second one? It's crucial.
Yeah, that's what I said. He doesn't really use the little runoff area next to the curb on the left hand side. You can go over there without losing too much time. He doesn't do so. He just clips the curb.
Yeah,
but
it's
maybe
better to go over the curb. You get more traction by doing that than
exactly
go on the curb.
But that's what he didn't do. Let's see what the others can do. Billy is not next to cross the line. There's another car in front. Oh, Billy goes very wide indeed. That's not gonna gain him a lot of time. He comes across the line, does go faster by 1/10. What can TJ do? Only goes second fastest, nearly a bit more than a 10th behind Billy. And yeah, I think that's it with quali. We don't have any drivers left to set their lap times because Callum Anderson is obviously in on his in lap.
Well, it's interesting to see, though. The Ferraris has struggled a little after pre-season, but today they're in first and third.
But interesting enough, Sondre, keep in mind, Tim set his lap right at the start of quali, where the track was still pretty green, and he still managed to only be not even 2 tenths behind his teammate who got pole position. So he will definitely be high up there within the fight for the top step of the podium, I think. And I think there
Certainly.
is going to be a very interesting battle for the podium as well. We have a lot of guys who are very closely matched in terms of pace. I mean, between P1 and P4 are only 2 tenths of a second, and that's great to see.
Oh, I think you should include down to P6.
Yeah, P6
Actually, I
is
think
only
all the
4
way down to
tenths
P6,
behind
everyone should
either.
be able to go for the win today. Obviously, with it being rain in the race, though, that should make it different.
Yeah, that will spice up the things. Oh,
But
and Woolley, we forgot that he got the penalty,
yeah,
which will demote him down to. I don't know if he will be P13 or P14 because Calamidas obviously got disqualified. I don't know if he stays behind anyone who's got a penalty then with that.
nah, he won't. He won't get behind anyone who's disqualified, I think.
Oh,
But
and it's
nonetheless,
raining
though,
for the start of the race
it's
already.
quite heavy, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks quite heavy.
According to Marshall, he should be P13.
And if I'm not mistaken by my eyes, I think in the Mercedes garage you could see blue wall tires, so the extremes, and that would mean the
Yeah,
guys will
possibly.
start on extremes. It looks like
I mean,
it's raining
if you
very
look in
heavily.
just the pit lane there, you can see that it is a lot of standing still water on the ground. So
Yeah, a lot of puddles.
I think we're gonna see full wets from the beginning.
Yeah.
However, though, your podium prediction, Felix.
Uh,
Go on.
I'm still gonna go with Tim in P1. He shot some great pace. Yeah, we are starting on the extreme wets, by the way. Um, but I think he will keep it together for the race, and I think we are going to see a lot of mistakes. I think Billy's not going to hold on to P1. I think he's going to drop down to third, but I think he is going to score a podium, and I think TJ will take second in the end. But I tell you now, Sondre, we should keep in mind that Sander Haugerud could still move up the grid a bit more. And
Oh, I'm telling you, my podium is probably gonna be. I'm gonna go with Sander in first. He's shown good pace in the wet before, so I think he's gonna be able to get himself into that position. For second, I'm gonna go with Tim. I also think Tim is gonna have a good race. I just think he's gonna be edged out for that first place. And third,
oh, as
I know
Billy already goes
TJ
off track.
Oh, that makes it hard to predict him for third now, but I'm gonna say Billy for third. I've seen TJ struggle a little with rain before, so yeah, I think we're well, Marshall. Your next Norwegian lesson could be tomorrow. And you did not understand what I meant by that, did you, Felix?
Not at all.
Well, he sat through a whole stream when I did the commentary for the Norwegian league I'm racing in, and paid attention.
And he
He
just
heard a
sat
lot
there
of
and listened.
Norwegian then. But yeah, so
Sondre,
that's my podium.
you can already see the thing about the F1 games. There is Billy again goes off track already. There's definitely already a racing line, which has a lot less water than the rest of the
Oh
track.
yeah.
And if you go off that line, you obviously go through all those puddles, and that will really take your grip away. So that's going to be interesting to see. Um, as soon as you try to overtake someone, it will just, send the car very unstable. And we hope that everyone is going to survive turn one. But
But
I
that
gotta
is,
tell you, Sondre, it's going to be very difficult.
it most certainly will. But I have confidence in Sander today. But nonetheless,
As we go up to 4, now 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go. Not for the drivers yet. It's now lights out, and away we go. That was a long hole. That's a good start from TJ, who goes right next to Billy. It's a great start from Tim as well. They are 3 wide coming down into turn 1. TJ has the inside line. He touches Tim and both go off track. That was a bit clumsy from TJ. Tim picks up a 5-second penalty. That could be removed after the race though. Let's look what Billy can do now in the slipstream from TJ. And TJ in the slipstream from Tim. And oh, that is a 3-second time penalty. Look at that. They're going too wide. Side by side into turn 4. Billy thinks better of it, backs out. TJ though misjudges the braking zone again and loses the spot. And now we have the Red Bull coming up as well. We have yellow flags in sector 2. I think that's that's turn 4. Yeah, it's where the Toro Rosso spun round. But we have Tim leading the way. What a great start he had from P3 on the grid. Billy had a pretty poor start, but was able to defend from TJ first. But TJ just misjudged his braking, touched Tim's car. Tim picked up a 3-second time penalty as Billy goes off track. Oh, he comes back very dangerously indeed. And there comes the Red Bull as well, who picks up P3 now, right behind TJ. Oh my goodness, that's very close indeed. Coming up to the Parabolica now. Will he make a move? No, Thompson thinks better of it. Oh, but TJ goes in too wide. And there comes Thompson. Oh, what great racing we have on lap 1 already. Oh, it's very, very tricky for those drivers, obviously, with the new grip. And there comes Billy back. Oh, that's great racing we see right here. Oh, Thompson thinks better of it again. Billy, will he go down the inside? No, he backs out. Stays behind the two of them. Oh, and TJ goes wide again. That's the 3rd time now, I think. I've seen TJ going wide, picks up the second 3-second time penalty as Thompson gets past and Billy gets past. And TJ's just lost everything after pretty much being in the lead on the run-up to turn 1. And there goes Callum Anderson down the inside of TJ. Oh, that was very close, but very fair between the two of them. And what a hectic and chaotic start we have got.
Oh, it has been, but it's been some amazing driving by these drivers too, though, showing each other respect, although there's been obviously a few episodes there, but look at that gap by Tim, though. 3 seconds now down to Sam Thompson, who's taken 3rd. Not 3rd, but 2nd.
That's quite impressive, but obviously he...
as I believe that Sondre's misjudged.
Oh yes, and he nearly comes back onto the track and picks and collects the Red Bull of Shane Calais. That was very dangerous. Luke Bacon now right behind him. And it looks like we could see a move from Billy again. If we go on board with him. It looks like Thompson hasn't got the best straight line speed, but obviously in the rain a lot more downforce helps in the corners as Tim sets the fastest lap of the race. But it looks like Billy's exit was not good enough to make a move.
Later, further behind we have Sondre getting close to Shane too, but...
Oh, and Luke misjudges his braking. Oh, goes wide, touches Jägermel as he comes back onto the track and loses another spot. Now he's back where he started. Spice had a pretty poor start. He dropped down 3 positions, but there... Oh, look at Spice! Spice has crashed into the back of Luke Baker. He couldn't see anything, and then suddenly there was a Williams right in front of him, and he had no time whatsoever to react, and he just hits the Williams in front of him, and Shane has gone wide and lost front wing. What happened there? Shane has gone wide again into left 2, and now he's spun it into the wall. Goes Shane. Oh, that has gone horribly wrong for the Red Bull. His teammate, meanwhile, under pressure from Billy. Out of Ascari, Billy gets a much better run on the Red Bull. Can he go for a move into Parabolica? He backs out, he thinks better of it. Stays behind for first.
He's gonna try it down to turn 1 instead.
It's a good exit though.
Staying close.
Oh, Thompson nearly goes too far to the right. Billy sets the fastest lap of the race, and here comes the Ferrari of Billy. Can he make the move stick? No, he stays behind Billy Muslim, Really smart from him,
but I
as
think...
Thompson now breaks himself, picks up a 5-second time penalty, and now is probably going to lose the position because Billy Mossam has got a far better exit, obviously. Sam Thompson is, yeah, struggling quite a lot. A lot of guys have gotten penalties as well. We have Spicer and Shane now in the pits. We have seen why Spicer lost front wing.
TJ keeps it.
Oh, and look at Billy. Billy goes down the
Lesmos.
inside into Lesmo 1. That's a dangerous move. But it's all kept clean. TJ and Haugerud, meanwhile, go side by side.
And look at that, Hauger up 2 places after 2 corners.
And there comes Callum Anderson as well in his Mercedes. In the slipstream of TJ. He won't move in. He won't make a move into Ascari, will he?
This is a risky move off
No,
the
he
racing
doesn't.
line.
He thinks better of it. I think that was a good choice as well from him.
Oh yeah, but look at this though. He's getting a great exit out of Ascari.
A great exit.
Side by side. And what a move out of Ascari. Stays patient, gets the position.
Oh, TJ comes back at him though. Into Parabolica. That's a late move. Late braking. Callum Anderson says thank you very much. Makes the switchback work beautifully, but that was not too difficult to be honest, because TJ just outbroke himself into the last corner.
Yeah, and look at this. Now Luke Baker is getting close to the rear of TJ2. We are gonna have a bigger fight soon.
Yeah, this race has provided some great racing already. In terms of every position out on track, Callum Anderson seems to have great pace at the moment. He's just not even 2 tenths behind Haugerud, but he won't make a move into turn 4, I'm sure. And no, he doesn't. But Haugerud goes wide, has to cut the corner, picks up a 3-second time penalty. We've seen a lot of time penalties already, but not because anyone really goes wide or anything. Most people just lose the back end, then have to correct the oversteer and just cut the corner because they can't make the corner anymore. Oh, as Anderson goes very wide, TJ obviously still behind him, but not close enough.
When Felix, there is something we haven't noticed. Tim are losing time, and he's losing time.
Oh yes, quickly. He is. Has he got front wing damage?
It's now a 3-way fight between Tim, his teammate,
and Thompson's
Sam.
Under pressure from Billy. But we saw Billy plays it very smartly indeed. He stays very calm, stays behind him and just waits for the perfect opportunity. I think that's the best he could do at the moment, because to go for a stupid move or for a stupid dive is not what he wants to see. He picks up the fastest lap of the race again.
I think he might have a difficult time getting past now with Thompson in Tim's slipstream.
Oh, and that's contact.
Thompson outbreaks himself.
Yeah, he made contact with the rear of Tim and he lost a bit of front wing. That's probably going to promote Haugerud up into P3 as Callum Anderson outbreaks himself, like we've seen so many times before in this race. Cuts the first corner and picks up a 5-second time penalty. Yes, indeed. Sondre, and I can tell you, Billy is right upon the rear of Tim, who's struggling very, very much indeed at the moment. Don't know what's going on with the German. Maybe he just can't get to grips with
orders here.
But the thing is, it's very difficult to properly overtake, because you just most of the time you just have to wait for a mistake from the other driver, because if you go off the racing line, and Billy picks up a 3-second time penalty. But if you go off the racing line, obviously the puddles are not making it easy for you to get past, and we can see that the track right next to the racing line is very wet as well. But Tim is struggling. Tim is really, really struggling. You can see that from the onboard of Billy's car as well. But Billy can't get a good exit out of the last corner, and it seems like his straight line speed is really hindering him as well.
Yeah, I would have to say right now, for the Ferrari team's sake and the constructor, I think it would be best by Tim to let his teammate go. However, it isn't looking like he's going to do that at the moment.
Yeah, I think Tim definitely wants that victory.
I think Thompson has outbraked himself into turn 1 again. However, he has figured out how to take that chicane properly then without getting that penalty. So
yeah, you just have to slow down quite a lot. Even if you don't
yeah.
really gain time, if you lose time, you're gonna get a penalty because the game thinks to cut the corner. And look at Haugerud, he is definitely taking the advantage of a full front wing right now, which Thompson has not got at the moment, as we saw him hitting the rear of, was it Tim? Yeah, I think it was Tim. Oh, and look at Thompson now. He's struggling quite a lot at the moment with his broken
It's
front
gonna
wing.
be
We
a
have a
hard
yellow
race.
flag.
Ooh,
Shane.
Shane is the first one out.
I don't know if he's crashed or retired the car on purpose by himself, but he is definitely not going to get any points
It's
this
hard to
race. He
say.
is out
Sector
of contention. Billy, meanwhile, we
What
saw
about
him
now
cutting
though?
the chicane quite a lot.
Haugerud close to Thompson. It's gonna be so difficult for him to get past her, but I will have to say though, for a wet Monza, this has been an exciting race so far.
Yeah, this has been great so far. And Thompson
as
goes
Thompson
into the pits. He thinks his front wing damage is costing him too much. He decides to pit. Which tire will he put on? I guess it's going to be the wet tire again. The full wets. Yes, it is.
Billy. I think Billy has gotten a good exit from turn 2.
Oh, and we have a crash. That's Jeremy Pope into the wall. Out of the parabolica corner.
Is there wing damage?
Has he damaged his front wing? I don't know. I just saw a car spinning in the background.
Look like it. He's keep driving. Nah, he has no damage, so lucky with that.
Well held. And we have a change of position in the lead. Tim has lost the lead. It looks like he made a mistake. We're sorry that we missed that. We were concentrating on Jeremy Pope and seeing if he had got damage.
Well, nonetheless, though.
Oh, Billy's struggling as well, though. You can see how difficult the conditions are at the moment. No one is really cruising away or anything. It's just, everyone's just driving on their absolute limit. But Sondre,
I think you could say that both the Ferraris are kind of cruising away a little. As you can see, that the gap down to Haugerud is 4 seconds now.
That is right, though.
Struggling to pull away from each other.
Sorry.
But in the meantime, we have Luke Baker on the rear of.
Oh yes, they're going side by side. TJ, oh, that's great racing side by side with the parabolica chicane.
Tucks in behind.
And now
he slipstream.
Yeah, he should be able to make the mistake. This looks like his straight line speed isn't helping him quite a lot.
Oh, he's gonna have
but
to
he still goes down the inside. I think he went too wide. Yes, he went in too deep. Has to cut the corner. Haugerud picks up another time penalty. Yeah, Luke does as well.
But he
3
has
seconds.
Position back.
Yeah, Sondre, that's what we talked about. The difficulty is the overtaking. If the driver in front of you doesn't really make mistakes, it's very hard to overtake because as soon as you go off that racing line, there is literally no grip for the car whatsoever, and you can't really overtake. Then Luke picks up another 3-second time penalty in the meantime as he tries to catch up to the rear of TJ again. But mistake me if I'm wrong, but it looks like those puddles are slightly going away, or maybe that's just at some parts of the track it looks like they are going away. Actually, on this part of the track it doesn't really look like they are going away. But you can see how the racing line is a lot better, and we have Thompson out of this race in sector 2. Yellow flags and Lesmo 1.
But Luke though right next to TJ into Parabolica. He's on the inside this time. Can he make it stick though? Looks like he's managed to get past TJ, but will he be able to hold it down the straight into turn 1? You can see TJ gaining in the slipstream, going out of it now on
yes,
to
he goes
the
down the inside again. Will he outbrake himself again? That is the question. Who brakes later, but brakes late enough. Oh, both make the corner. That's good racing so far. That's very clean as well. That's definitely what we want to see.
TJ has made the position stick, but is he gonna? Oh, there was a back end loss there.
Oh, will it go down the inside? No, we won't. Don't think that it would be the smartest move to go down the inside into turn 4, to be honest. We haven't seen many overtakes which were successful there in real life either. Most people just get pushed wide. But that is the most interesting fight out on track at the moment, and it is actually the only fight, because Callum Anderson can't really catch up to Haugerud again. As we have yellow flags in sectors 1 and 2, yeah, and Ole has retired from the session. Sorry for that again. Pressed the wrong button again. Oh yeah, he's crashed through the La Curva Grande. That's a not place to throw the car away. Or maybe in the wet he just went offline or something like that. But we only have 11 cars left out on track now, which can provide very, very good racing. Hopefully, very good racing. But we have Luke again trying to stay with TJ or get closer to TJ. But that's not too easy. Let's go on board with him for a bit, and we can maybe see where TJ is pulling away or where Luke is pulling up on him. Luke loses the back end. He's cut the corner again.
I do have to say I feel bad for Shane. Ruining every F race he says, and well, I gotta say F3 drivers have been a little unlucky when it comes to rain. They've had a lot of rain races so far.
Don't know how the weather forecast for this race looks though. Would be a nice addition for next year's F1 game for the spectators to be able to see the weather forecast.
It's Codemasters, you know they're not gonna be able to treat us that well.
But we can see Callum Anderson is closing up to Haugerud. I guess he made some kind of mistake maybe. Don't think Callum Anderson would have caught up 5 seconds within a few corners for no reason, for just pure driving.
Ooh, but Callum is gaining on the straight.
Is he gaining enough though? I don't think he is. No, he isn't. Stays behind.
Not enough to go for it. Look at this though, Tim is losing a massive amount of time to Billy now, and his gap back to Haugerud hasn't gone that much down, but it's clear for the moment that Billy is the fastest driver out on track.
Oh, and there goes Callum down the inside into turn 4. I said it would not be the smartest move to do that, but he still does. Oh, sorry for that. I thought Haugerud lost the place. Oh, Callum has to leave more space there.
But Haugerud has the position. Can Callum go back?
Callum got a good exit there. That's very close. Will he go down the inside into Ascari? That will be a risky move again. No, he stays behind.
Backs out of it.
These two have been battling. Oh, again.
Oh, but look at this though. Callum has done this before on TJ. Gotten a good exit out of Ascari. And he looks like he should be able to pass Sondre here. Sondre is going to be on the outside. He's going to struggle.
Looks like he is passed. Sondre is trying to go back at him, but he's not able to do so. His straight line speed is not enough.
Oh, but Sondre goes back into.
I think it was too far away.
As Callum outbreaks himself a little, that is going to leave an old.
Oh, and there goes TJ again. Outbreaks himself. Picks up another 5-second time penalty. Sondre, we have to think about time penalties as well, because there are going to be quite a lot of penalties in this race.
I'll keep that a surprise to the end, because there is going to be too many to count.
Yeah, I think you can't really you can't really check in terms of penalties. That will take too long, because we have seen so many already. But what we can say is that Billy is cruising in the lead right now a little bit. At least it looks like he is. 3-second gap to Tim, and that gap isn't really going down at all. Even though it's now 2.9, but I think he's just controlling the race. I mean, he doesn't really have to push yet.
Question is though, lap 13, are we gonna see anyone of Tim, maybe Callum, Sondre, any of those trying to undercut Billy to get fresh tires and just get more pace out of the car for a few laps before Billy pits it?
Yeah, we have to think about pit stops now as well.
Could see Tim doing that.
Oh, and Callum has gone very wide indeed. Does he go into the pits? No, he doesn't. He tries to defend. Tim goes into the pits, as you've said already. And now they go side by side down into turn 1 again. Nobody's making a move. Oh, but Callum has gone very wide. And look at TJ, he's right upon the rear of Negwer now as well.
I'm gonna go over to Tim to see how he does on his new tires. So the pit stops around Italy is about 24 seconds, isn't it, Felix?
Yeah, should be. But that is in the dry though. In the wet that should be a bit less. Because obviously you're going with a lot lower, so the speeds you're going around circuits with are a lot lower than in the dry. So I guess it should be around 22 seconds, maybe 21.
I can tell you right now, Tim hasn't started gaining much yet. As Billy pits, he's gonna answer that.
Yeah, Billy pits. Oh, and Callum fakes a pit stop. I think TJ has gone into the pits. Billy obviously as well. Has he changed front wing? But he's only just now out of his pit box. TJ goes into his pit box now.
Billy will be well ahead of Tim still.
Yes, he will. Tim only just comes.
Not been a good outlap by Tim.
Yeah, look at the gap between the two of them. TJ is not that far behind Tim though.
Look at that, Tim has lost 7. Well, he's lost about 5 seconds on his pit stop though.
Yeah.
Is he had a 5 second stop ago or something?
That could be. Yeah, he did have a 5-second stop and go because of the first lap incident into turn 1. Remember how TJ went in too deep and took Tim with him. Tim got a 5-second time penalty for that, so they might get that removed after the race. I think there will be a lot of reports, if I'm honest. So I think you and the other stewards are going to have a lot of work after this one.
It is starting to look like it. What about Callum and Haugerud? Are any of those gonna pit on this lap? We're gonna see Callum try to fake Haugerud into the pit one more time.
Does Callum go now? Yes, he does.
Callum goes into the pit this time. Haugerud keeps on racing. He's gonna try to pull off the overcut.
I mean, it worked for Billy. 5-second stop and go for Callum. But I think many drivers have got that. Oh, and he pitted onto the intermediates.
Interesting. That is a bold choice. But
he's the only driver right now who's on inters.
Gamal is right on the back of Jeremy Pope right now.
Oh, and could be close between TJ and Callum, as Callum is ahead of TJ. It looks like the overcut has worked beautifully, but now it's going to be interesting to see how Callum is going to do on those intermediate tires. The truck looks pretty wet still, gotta say.
It does not look like good idea from my perspective, but you never know. He doesn't look like he's
Callum goes
losing
wide.
time yet.
Callum goes wide and lost a lot of time.
Oh, TJ is looking feisty on the rear of Callum right now.
Yeah, I think Callum is struggling with that set of intermediates. I think it's just too
Yeah,
early
a
for
bit
those green
too early.
tires.
Question is though, is it gonna start to be going towards Interredo, because he might lose a little
Who
on this
knows,
lap,
but there goes TJ around
2
the
laps
outside
left.
into Ascari. That's a risky move. He goes wide as well. Comes back onto the track.
Ooh.
Oh, they kept
Yeah,
it pretty clean, gotta
stays
say.
surprisingly clean considering wet tires, especially Callum with
Billy with
Inter
another
tires
fast
on
stop.
right now.
Hagrid in the pits as well. I think he had a 5-second stop and go as well. He goes onto the extremes. Oh, who's gonna come out in front? That's gonna be very close, I think.
Ooh, it's gonna be very close with TJ and Callum, but he should be ahead.
Oh, Callum comes back at him. Into turn 1. Can he make the corner on those inters? Yes, he can. Good move from Callum. TJ,
Interesting, I
though,
think.
is looking feisty on the wets and is trying to get his position back to not lose too much time to Hauger, who's just in front of the both of them. But it looks like
But
the
one thing is for
overcut
sure.
really was stronger.
Oh yeah. But one thing is for sure, if Callum is able to get the Inters to work this well at least, we got to be in the crossover to Inters at the
Yeah, I
moment.
think that's why Luke is staying out as well. Luke is still out on his first set of wets. I think he wants to wait until it's ready for Inters. Here goes TJ though into Ascari, down the inside. Can he make the corner? No, he can't. Oh, Caleb goes back, comes back at him, cuts the corner then.
And
But I
it
gotta
looks
say,
like both
those
are
two are fighting with a lot of
losing.
respect. Meanwhile, Luke comes into the pits. Would he fit the intermediate tire? No, he won't. He fits the wet tire. He had a 5-second stop and go penalty as well. But that's interesting. Why did he stay out for such a long time? Maybe he saw that the
Because I think he
overcut was
might have
very
actually made the
powerful.
undercut work. He's gonna be right
Nah,
with
he's gonna
TJ and
be
Callum, but
behind
he's gonna be
all of them.
right behind though. Oh my god, Matt Romano with his beating in pit lane penalty. That's unusual. But what about Callum? Has he made a masterful strategy right now, or is it gonna... Oh, look at that. Matt Romano also over to the Inter tires, Felix.
Is he?
Oh, yes.
I mean, Matt has not got much to lose. I mean, he's got to lose 1 point. But is Spicer even still in the lobby? I don't think he is. Or is he?
Good question.
But it's interesting to see that Callum is still slower, but he's not that much slower. He's
It's
more or
clear
less
that the
able.
wet tires are still the better tire, but
That is true, but he's still able to at least
it
not
has.
lose too much time.
I highly doubt that he's just made that big of a gamble. It has to be going over to lighter rain soon.
Yeah, it looks like the track is drying as well. Looks like we're not far away from inter conditions.
Oh, but
Callum goes wide.
and that is going to be a
Again,
3 second.
3-second time penalty. That's generous from the game there.
Look at Billy in the lead though. 9.5 seconds out of his teammate in second.
That's a great gap. If he doesn't throw the car into the wall, he should have it easily. He could pick all the penalties in the world up right now.
But don't say that, Felix, because that could happen so easily.
Yeah, that is true, especially in these conditions. Alder, meanwhile, shows good pace, is able to pull away from TJ, who's still followed by Callum.
Oh, and look at Baker. He's right on the rear of Callum now. Callum will have to defend into Ascari, or is... Baker's just tucking him behind.
Stays behind.
Taking the patient route.
I think that's the smartest thing to do right now.
But
But Sondre, if you go on board with someone, you can see that the track is getting drier and drier, and I think we are definitely not far away from Indus, I think. So if it really goes, now maybe it's a weird thing with the crossover period, you know, those races where it just stays in the crossover period, and the Inters just don't get faster than the wets. Could be the case here, as Luke is trying to make a move on Callum again. Does do so. Oh, and Alder picks up a 10-second time penalty. 10 seconds. He must have cut the whole first chicane. That is quite a lot. Luke, meanwhile, goes around the outside. No, he doesn't. Stays behind. But Sondre, I don't know if the Inters will be faster than the Weds at any point, because imagine if they would be faster now. Meanwhile, Luke goes down the inside into last mode 2, go move, picks up P5. But imagine if within the next 1 or 2 laps the Inters would become faster. Callum Henderson would have got really good chances for a podium as he goes down the inside of Luke again. Was that contact? I think there was
a little contact, I think, but
was that front wing damage?
No wing damage for anyone, I think. You are saying something there, but it has to happen within the next lap or 2, because if it happens with 2 laps left, it's gonna be too late.
Oh, a nice move from Luke on the outside again through Parabolica. But I gotta say, fair play to these lads out on track. They kept it more or less fair in most of the fights, even though the conditions are pretty awful. Oh, and Luke goes off track, loses a lot of time. Callum comes back, got a 3-second time penalty again. But they are providing some good racing. We haven't had a time where we didn't have any battle out on track. There was always an interesting fight to watch, as we have yellow flags in the 3rd sector, and that is Spicer. I just wanted to say Spicer's catching up to Romano, but now Spicer's put it into the wall, has got front wing damage and has to pit again. Romano's on Inters as well. He lost quite a lot of time to the Toro Rosso, and the Toro Rosso saw his chance, and the points were there to take, but he threw the car away, and now his chance for points is most likely over.
It's starting to look like Callum can't keep his pace up anymore.
Yeah, it looks like those Inters aren't really working, aren't really gripping.
Well, if it's been too wet for Inter since he pitted up until now, then he's probably fried them out a little too much too, struggling with grip, so it's hard. Oh, as Callum goes very wide in Parabolica. Just to keep it though.
Yeah, he just needs to keep it on the road. Sondre, I think I just jinxed it with saying that we always had a battle out on track. Right now there is no 2 cars within a second on the track at the moment. Tim is still losing time to Billy. Alder is losing time to Tim. I could look at the penalties right now, but I think it's too much.
Let's keep that as a surprise.
But I do know that Alder has got a 10-second time penalty. But in this race, that is not too much. I mean, that's missing the first chicane 2 times. and I think there are not many people who have got under 5 seconds of penalties.
I don't think there are any people without less than 10 seconds of penalty right now, to be honest.
Yeah, it could be as well, because nearly everyone missed a chicane at one point, or cut a chicane at one point, and the game just punished that immediately.
Very harshly, I have to say. Still though, lap 23 and
Oh, it's the
as much
racing
action
point.
as we've actually got is
Yeah,
very
Christos
surprising.
nearly lost his car. Galamidas obviously was disqualified in quali, as I've said many times before. Tim gets a 3-second time penalty. Oh, Haugerud's made a mistake. He just lost a second to Tim. And a second to TJ as well, I think. Maybe he missed turn 1. Who knows? By the way, Spice has been lapped in the meantime. He's now behind Haugerud, in between TJ and Haugerud at the moment. Very disappointing. He was so close to points, taking advantage of the wrong strategy call from Olano. But now his chances for points are gone. But TJ is actually catching up to Haugerud at the moment. That could be an interesting fight for the podium at the end.
He's a little, but is it enough to catch him before he runs out of time now?
And just for the viewers, we are commentating this race without any information about the penalties. We just saw some penalties pop up, but we have no clue who's got how many penalties. So that is a mystery for us.
We know is that there is a lot of penalties on this
Yeah, they
grid, so
are.
the question is just who's got how much, and we'll see that at the end. And as we're talking, Tim has actually caught a little on Billy again, but
Oh, I thought that was a collision, but no, that was just Spicer missing the chicane and then letting TJ through in the process. He's lost a second again. Thought he might be able to catch up to Haugerud, but now he lost quite a lot of time. As Haugerud cut the chicane again. I think Haugerud starts to struggle now. TJ has gained 8 tenths with that one.
oh, and I can tell you guys that F2 have just finished their race with Kevin Harrison taking the win just ahead of Jared Fosbury, then Harry Cooper in third. In the meantime, not much is happening right here now. Power has lost time to Haugerud now too, so
Yeah, I think the gaps are pretty much going to stay the same now. I think the finishing positions are just going to shake up because of the penalties. I don't think that any on-track action will happen. As I go on the broadcast view of Billy, who's leading this race quite calmly. Look at that, Luke has got a pretty good race with moving 5 places up. Haugerud gained 3 spots. So did the one who's got just a penalty, Christos. He moved 5 places up. TJ lost 2 positions, Cannon lost a position, and Spicer lost 4 positions. I think the rain conditions just don't really suit Spicer, which is very sad because it did impress in quali. He shot quite solid pace, but obviously he did not get to show that in the race now. with 3 stops. We're just following Billy on his last 2 laps as Calamidas is actually catching up to Jägermal. 1.1 the gap now. 1.0, 0.7. Does Jägermal have a problem?
These two have been going up and down.
But look at that, Jägermal seems to be struggling. Here comes Christos. Oh, and he flies past the Haas driver. Don't know if he got some kind of problem. He's in non-ERS mode.
He lost a lot of pace down there. Obviously no ERS, but
still. His fuel symbol is not, you know, lighting up or anything.
gearbox issues maybe.
But he's staying in non.
Gearbox issues on this track, so hard to say.
He's still in non-ERS mode though.
No.
Christos has left the session, and Jägermal is gonna take the spot back.
Out.
Yeah, he had an X right next to his name, Christos, as I went on board with Jägermal. Oh, and now Christos AI is defending. Oh, please don't destroy Jägermal's race. It would be a shame.
Looks like Jägermal has it.
Yep. Now he's in high ERS mode. I think he just saved it.
Billy is around the first chicane for the last time this.
Oh,
and what has happened with Jeremy?
Jeremy Pope has retired. Was it his last lap? No, though. No, I think it wasn't.
Well, he has
so that means Spicer will still pick up a point. Looks like it was Lesmo too. Oh, that was the penultimate lap. And Jeremy Pope threw it away. Yes, he is. Right in the middle of the track. He crashed out of Lesmo too. What a shame. And it was the penultimate lap. As we can see, Billy is going through Ascari.
And unfortunately for Jeremy, then he's finishing over 90% of the race. But as Spicer comes around Lesmo 2 now, he's
and that shows why you should never give up.
11th.
Spicer will pick up a point, even though he had a horrible race. But now we can see Billy coming around the final corner of the final lap. He comes across the line after 27 laps and wins the Italian F3 race in Alder. Congratulations. A very, very good drive. Let's see how the penalties are. I don't think he will lose this spot, or will he? No, he won't. Who takes second though? Haugerud or TJ? Looks like TJ could take it. TJ takes P3 and a podium. Where does Luke finish? Luke finishes P5. Callum comes across the line to take P5. No, Luke gets demoted with his penalties. As we've said, penalties will play quite a big role in this. Yeah, Luke gets demoted to P7 even.
But he stays
Jägermal
in
takes P6.
Christos takes 8th.
Yeah, Christos takes 8.
Matt
but
is
just
gonna be the
waiting on
last
Matt. Yeah.
car to finish this race then.
But
in 9th.
props to Billy. He drove a very, very good race indeed. Barely made any mistakes. And from the point when he took the lead from his teammate, which we certainly didn't see, he pretty much dominated and controlled the race, didn't he? I mean,
and I can tell you, Billy is gonna be all over the moon about this. He has been thinking the whole week about completely quitting league racing. He's not been feeling too good about league racing lately. But the win today is probably gonna make a big difference there for him.
Yeah, congratulations to TJ as well. He probably knew how
Slow and steady wins the race, or in this instance, gets him the podium with penalties.
Yeah, Haugerud had too many penalties.
But
And there you have it.
look at that,
The top three.
Double Ferrari.
Yeah, the Tifosi
1,
would be going
2.
wide. And a third Italian car as well with the Alfa Romeo team.
Oh, yes.
So the Brit in front of the German and the Norwegian. 3 different nations on the podium there. That's great to see as well.
The Brit beats us both, Felix.
What?
The Brit beats us both.
I still haven't heard what you said, but that does not matter at all.
Well,
because here are your finishing positions.
Your finishing positions. Not Tim, but Billy Mossum in first. Tim in second behind his teammate. Then we have TJ in third, picking up another podium. Sondre Sorhaug in fourth today. Callum Anderson in fifth. Jigermal Johnson in sixth. Then you have Luke Baker in seventh. Christos Kalamides in eighth. Matt Romano in ninth. And
Spicer.
Tom Spicer, I mean, I feel I remember what
His
it was.
name is not nice. And
yeah, well, it's Spicer, but
it is indeed.
And
I feel very sorry for Jeremy Pope, but it seems like he just lost his concentration on the last 2 laps, threw the car away on the penultimate lap out of last round 2. That must be so frustrating. But there you have it. That is round 7 of the F3 IRL Championship wrapped up for you.
Hold on now a moment. You're getting the podium in there. Hopefully.
Yes, I am.
Oh, good stuff, Jared.
Waiting if anyone of the podium finishes will join. Yes, there we have TJ.
I was just about to say it. Halvor is usually up for interviews. There Billy is. Tim has asked for interviews, and there he is. So, you want to start off with third place, Felix?
Don't we usually start with the winner?
No, build it up to the winner.
Alright. TJ!
Yeah.
P3 today in a completely wet race. I'm sure you guys were all aware that the race would be wet. Saw that in the chat quite early. But on track P4. But in the end, through the time penalties, P3. Well, you just going to the end and not really attacking because you knew that you just had to stay within a certain gap of Hagrid in front of you?
To be honest, I don't think I could have catched him if I wanted to, because I don't really like the rain on this game, yeah, I wasn't quick at all. Was struggling with my braking points and traction. So yeah, I wasn't really attacking them because I didn't have the pace to do that.
Yeah, obviously P3 is still a very good result, especially if you say that you don't like the rain on this game. And you caught up a few points to your teammate who is still leading the championship, if I am correct. So you definitely made some inroads there as well. How concerned are you that you could still, be up there and fight for the championship with your teammate?
Yeah, I'm hoping for a good fight till the end, and yeah, just hoping that either myself or that, and at the same time work towards the constructor championship. So hopefully it will be a close fight till the end.
Yeah, that is looking very good for you two. In the constructors championship, you two are staying in first with Alfa Romeo as well. So congratulations to you and your podium, and
Thank
I
you.
wish you the best of luck for the next race weekend, which would be Spain. Do you think you could go for P1 there, or is Spain rather a track where you should focus on finishing maybe top 5 or top 3?
I don't know. I don't think I really have played that much around Spain on this game yet, but if I get the time to practice and the race will be dry, then maybe I can go for one of the top spots.
All right. Thank you very much, and the best of luck for next
Thank you.
weekend. Sondre, you want to go on?
You kind of covered most of what I was wondering about with Halvor, so I don't think I have any questions there, unfortunately. No. I wish I did, but I don't. All I can say is then congratulations on P3 today, Halvor, and good luck for Spain.
Thank you.
All right, then we will move on to Tim in P2. Sondre, do you want to go ahead, or?
I'll go ahead.
All right.
Tim?
Yes, hello.
There he is. So, I believe last week we didn't go too well in the end, but... Well,
That's no problem.
yeah, it didn't go too... Yeah, I remember now. But this week you finally showed what we saw in preseason, and you think it's too... First of all, do you think it's too late for you to go for the title, or...
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I will give everything in every race, and yeah, I look what I can do in the championship, and yeah.
Oh, that's great stuff to hear. For this race, though, obviously quali did not go as expected. You did get second or third in the end, but obviously with your lap set all the way at the beginning of the session, exactly how quick do you think you could have gone in quali in the end?
3 times.
3? Well, that's very specific.
Yeah, on the corner I spun, I was 3 tenths ahead of my first time, and yeah, I just was really how to say, I pushed too hard, and yeah, I touched the inside curb, and then you spun. It's clearly it was a driving mistake, and yeah.
Still, though, you had a pretty good start, managed to jump your teammate Billy there, and got into the lead. And at the beginning, it looked very bright for you. You were pulling away, and it just looked like you had it all under control. But very exactly didn't fall apart because you started losing time. Then obviously lost your position in the end too, Billy, and at the end you were just falling off. What was it today that prevented you from getting that top step?
Yeah, for the first, congrats to Billy, and I'm happy that we have a 1-2 for Ferrari. It's good for the championship. And then my race, yeah, on the beginning I was really fast. The start was really good, and I kept pushing, and then on lap 5 or 6 I started at the beginning, be carefully with the corners, while a few corners in the laps before I was too late on the brakes, and then I wanted to look that I'm earlier on the brakes, that I can get the corner better, and that is the reason what in the end cost me a big time, and yeah, then Billy, it was clearly that Billy will catch me and overtake me, and in the end I give everything, and for the 5-second time penalty in the first corner I sit it down in the pits, yes, and then it was clear that I can do nothing more to get P1.
Well, still, nonetheless, the second place is a great result, and especially with the 1-2 for the Ferraris finally showing what you guys are able to do. But you didn't mention it though, a 5-second stop and go in the first corner. We saw many people get that today. Was it particularly hard to find your breaking point there, or?
Yes, it was really, really hard. Yeah.
Alright, well, Any questions from you, Felix? If Felix is there at least. Alright, looks like he isn't here exactly now then. Well, next week, Tim, we're heading to Spain. Is that a good track for you?
Spain is a hard track, but on the last times I traveled in Spain, I was really fast, and I hope I can get another podium finish and then look at what I can do in the championship fight.
Alright, well, great stuff then.
Hello.
Congratulations on your second place today, and good luck for Spain.
Thank you.
Felix?
My mic should work now again. Sorry.
Alright, there you are. So, any questions for Team Bayou?
No, I think you covered everything I wanted to ask about turn 1 especially. And yeah,
Well, fair
I
enough
just want to say good luck for next week as well to Tim. And congratulations on P2.
Thanks.
Alright then,
And we
Sondre,
had-
I think we should go on to the winner of today's race.
Definitely. So,
Billy. Yeah, I can start if you want. Billy, first of all, congratulations. A
Thanks.
very controlled drive, especially in the second half of the race. It looked like at
Yeah.
least. But you were struggling a bit from at the start. You didn't have the best getaway, and TJ was right next to you pretty early.
My
And
start.
then you just it looked like you were just waiting a little bit. You were very patient with your moves. Was that your plan because you knew you had the pace, or did you just or were you just struggling in general to get past other people?
I was struggling the first like few laps because of my confidence and that. Like I get nervous and then all that, and then I just started to get them and make moves. So
Yeah, there were the most moves we saw in the race were pretty much because of some mistakes or something, but we saw quite a long fight actually between
yeah,
you and TJ, I think it was, if I remember it correctly.
yeah,
And yeah, that was quite a long battle, but eventually you were able to get past, and then you pretty quickly caught up to your teammate, and as soon as you got past him as well, it was just a thing of controlling the race and controlling the pace and not taking too many risks. Is that correct?
yeah.
Yeah.
I just couldn't find my braking zone.
Yeah, so you were still on the edge and trying to
Yeah.
find everything on the track, because we saw the conditions were pretty bad. We saw some people going onto the intermediate tires. Did you
Yeah.
think about pitting as well, or were you
Not
concerned that
really.
you were on the right tire?
Not really. I was waiting for Callum to go fastest lap, like a few laps, and then it didn't happen, so just stayed up.
Alright, so pretty controlled race. Obviously that
Yeah.
gains you quite a lot of points in the championship, and that pace you showed today, with that pace, do you think you could go for attack in the championship even more?
Yeah. I lost it in Brazil last year, so because of a car, so
Yeah. So I will hand the questions over to Sondre if he has anything left to ask.
Well, you have covered a lot, but I have something. So obviously you're a little behind in the championship. From what I
Yeah.
understand, though, you're still going for it, and you and your teammate is even further behind in the constructor. But today you're catching up a great amount of points. And what do you think your and your teammate chances are in the constructors this season?
I don't know. With the alphas, I couldn't think of the names. We're gonna have to step up if we're gonna challenge.
Well, you're saying something there, but you both did step up today, though. with obviously a great race by both of you.
Yeah.
For that pass when you got around Tim, we didn't exactly get how you got around him. Was there any team orders, or did you have
No.
to work around him?
He went out wide. He hit the curb and went wide, and I took the corner perfect and got past.
Alright, well, great stuff then. I mentioned it briefly at the end of the race though, that obviously this last week hasn't been your greatest. You've been thinking of quitting league racing completely, and well, today walks away with a win. How do you feel right now?
Happy.
Oh, I would too. I'm not getting a win this season though. Well, still, great drive by you today. Spain next week. Are we gonna see you back on the podium? Maybe on a top step?
Hopefully, yeah. I'm quite good at Spain. If it's dry.
What if it rains though?
I don't know. I don't really like that. I don't really like Spain, so.
Who does? A lot of tire temps to control, but still, you shot great wet weather pace today, so you never know. Maybe wet weather could give you another good result next week.
That was quite good in the wet dry setup.
Sometimes it works, not every time, but sometimes. But still, though, congratulations on your race win today.
Yeah.
And good luck for next week.
Thanks.
Felix?
Yes. So, thank you all for joining us for today's Italian Grand Prix here in 3 in IRL. It was round 7. Next week, obviously, we talked with the podium finishes about the race. It's going to be Spain. Sondre's going to be there for the F3 race again, I guess. Guess Brandon Glover's going to be back for that. And I hope it's going to be a good race again. Maybe it's not raining, but the rain spiced up the things quite a lot though. So it was a good thing today. And if you want to see Sondre live in action, join IRL F1 Saturdays. We're live streaming that as well with Jared Fosbury as our commentator. And make sure to not miss that. Sondre, do you have anything to add?
Not really, you're doing great.
So I thank you very much, Sondre, for your trust in me, for your faith in me, for letting me commentate the quali pretty much alone for the first half, and then letting me co-commentate with you for the entirety of this race as well. And hopefully you guys will join in for next week's race in F1, F2 or F3, whatever you want. F2 and F3 both on Saturdays, F1 both on Sundays, F1 on Saturdays, remember that. And yeah, it's been a pleasure, been a good race, and we will see you next week. Goodbye from Sondre and myself.